Okay. Om Shruti Smriti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Om Pranomi Dakshinamurti Vyasa Shankara Rupinam Jyotirmayam Gurum Srimat Chandrasekhara Saraswatim Om Namo Bhagavate Kamakoti Chandrasekharaya Om Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Dattatreya Samarambam Nrsimhadika Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, so I'm glad that everybody is able to join today's class again, and we covered up to 8 shlokas until now. And I think, we got the groove that more than 2 shlokas, if I try to do, it's not working out. So I prepared only for 2 shlokas today. And if I finish early, then we will practice the shlokas. Otherwise, we will ensure that we finish at least 2 shlokas today, okay, which will be the 9th and 10th shloka. So till now, what we did in the Subrahmanya Bhujangam is we saw from shloka 1 to shloka 8. Okay, I said, originally that up to shloka 8, I said actually not shloka 8, I said the first 8 shlokas are good for meditation, I said, right? So when I say first 8 shlokas, obviously the first shloka is on Ganesha, and then the 8 shlokas after that, which is until this 9th shloka, which is good for meditation. It is not that the other shlokas are not good for meditation, they are, but these are a little bit different and special in its own way. Okay. So in the last class, we talked about, especially the shloka 7. I'm just going to briefly go over. I said so many things, but I hope I did not really confuse people on certain things, right? Especially on the Mahapapa Chore, because we talked about the Pancha Mahapapas and everything. And then I said how it is said in Manusmriti, there are 5 different types of papas. And I said Surapana is one of the papa, Brahmahatya, like that we said, right? And then I tried to recollect a story from my memory, and obviously I think only 25% of it was right. And thanks to Nitya, she found the story and she posted it, and then I recollected the whole event again. So that actual event where this boy was going and giving a false witness, okay, and especially because he was Brahmin, the police told him to remove his shirt and everything and put all vibhuti and then come and do it, because the credibility of the witness is increased, because the judge will think Brahmins don't lie or Brahmins are good people. So like that, like it happened. So obviously it is extremely wrong. Okay, and that is one of the biggest Panchamahapapas. Okay, it said. But unfortunately, in this 21st century, if we say this as Papa and that as Papa, like that, if we start classifying, then either people will be really irritated and they'll have a tendency not to, follow anything, because everything is a Papa. If you really look at that, right? Most of the things we do from morning to night, it eventually ends up being some Papa or other. Okay. But how do we basically reconcile this fact in living in this age? Okay. So I just wanted to give you this concept, okay, that will really, even in those days, that is how it worked. Okay, I'll tell you why. I can give you a couple of drishtantas of why whatever I'm saying today worked those days also. See, these usually Dharma Shastras are zero tolerance documents. Okay, they give you the zero tolerance because that is how you set a benchmark. And then from the benchmark, you say, okay, I have deviated a little bit. So, you feel sorry about it. And next time you want to do better, right? So that you are closer to the benchmark. That is how you become better and better, right? So if I move the benchmark itself totally from where it is to whatever I think is the benchmark, then the whole thing will go. Okay. So that is why Dharma Shastras are still valid and they are a benchmark. Okay. So, but what we can do is, this is like this. Okay. Whenever you do any karma, okay, I just wanted to clarify this because this word papa is, even if you want to explain to your children, to anybody, how to reconcile in this world, especially, this is how I think. Okay. So partly this is my view, but I think it aligns with, like what we have been practicing. But only thing is, it is just the attitude with which we do things, right? That is what we got to look at it. And I'm going to explain it how. Okay. So whenever you do any karma or action, let us say, okay, there are at least 5 things which are important. First is the person who is doing the karma, which is the actor, which is, say, I am doing the karma. Let us say I am the actor, right? That is the act. And then the act itself, which I would say it is a process. Okay. The process of doing the karma. Then the third thing is about the ingredients. Okay. And then the time and the place. All these are important. As an example, you want to eat only good food, right? So the ingredients are good food. The process is you want to make sure the person who prepared the food also prepared with certain quality. Okay. Otherwise, you are going to get sick. So there is a process to it. And there is a time and place to it as well. Okay. You don't eat in the middle of the night. Okay. Like randomly, you don't start eating at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. like that. So, like we have some fixed times when we eat, and also the place, right? You don't go and sit in the bathroom and eat. You have a specific place in your house where you go and eat. Like that for every karma. Okay, this is there. Especially for the religious karmas, these are all well defined. So if you want to do puja, you are the actor. And what are the ingredients? The puja samagri are the ingredients. The nice flowers are the ingredients. The time to do puja is defined. Okay, the place to do puja. Obviously, you want to clean the puja room, put a kolam, light a lamp and all that. Okay, and then the process. The process of doing the puja is how you basically like try to connect your mind with God, and then you are trying to do it, right? As much as possible, you want to be focused. So like that, you just think of any act, right? Any act in this world, whether you drive in this, whether you are driving a car, or whether you are even like talking to your spouse or child or anything, all these 5 needs to be aligned. Okay. Then only the act will become a good act. Okay. And every time you do any act, do you basically go and think about all these? No. We just, like something pops up in our mind, and then we just go ahead and say something, and we just go and do something, right? This is known as compulsive action. Okay. Compulsive action means you are not like really thinking about it consciously. You are not doing every act. You are not mindful of the act, what you are doing. You are like, for example, I like sweets. Okay. So if on the dining table, there are a couple of sweet boxes which is open, though I may have had, like my quota of sweets for today, I just walk by and suddenly without, like some urge is there in me, my sensual urge or whatever it is, suddenly I just pick up on Mysore pak and put it in my mouth and walk away, right? This is a compulsive act. So most of the acts happen like this. But let us say if I am consciously approaching it, then I tell myself, hey, I have eaten my quota today. I'm not going to eat anymore. So if you want to do any action, first moving from compulsive action to conscious action is very important. So punya karmas are something like that. All punya karmas are basically conscious actions, because you are following a dictum, you are following a rule, and you want to adhere to the rule. And the rule is not simply like somebody, randomly made it. The rule is made by rishis, or, like your elders in your house. They are telling you to do certain things because they have followed it. If you ask them too many questions, they may not be able to answer why you follow. The only reason you follow is because of whatever I said. Those 5 ingredients, those 5 things which make up karma should align for the karma to really bear fruit, and for the karma to really give you the thing. So there, the one thing you can control is yourself, the actor. So the actor is a person who is doing the karma, and sometimes the ingredients may not be best. Sometimes, the situation is not good, right? You just walk into your room and you have a bunch of angry people. The place is not right, but still you have to do your karma. So how do you consciously do it? You also can get angry. You also, like the temperature of the room is hot, and then you enter it, you also become hot. It is possible, but you don't want to be like that, right? So that is where the mindfulness, actually there are different terms they are using these days, right? So mindfulness is one of the things. What exactly it is doing an act consciously as opposed to compulsively. So that is something which we are mindful every day. You can just, at the end of the day, you can just think how much of conscious actions you have done as opposed to compulsive actions. That itself will progress. And what exactly is papa in this context? Okay, now, even though there may be conscious action and compulsive action, a conscious action also, okay, this is what is written in the smritis and everything. I'm going to follow this very seriously. And I'm, like for that reason, you go and hurt somebody. That is basically, that will lead to some kind of a dosha. It may not be complete papa, but still it is some kind of a papa in some degree or other, right? Like for example, you sit and do puja and suddenly you see a cockroach coming up. So there are two options. You can take the cockroach out, like you can just get up, take the cockroach in a napkin and then put it out or something, or just go and smash it right away and then wash your hands and come and sit and continue to do the puja. The puja room should be clean, so you don't want any cockroaches. That is the approach. But what you do with the cockroach is dependent on you. That is like the conscious action. Yes, it is a conscious action for cleanliness, but there is no compassion there. So compassion is another ingredient you got to add to this, so that the conscious action, if it is compassionate, then it will go towards punya. Okay. And sometimes even compulsive actions could be compassionate. Okay, there is nothing wrong about it. Okay, but punya means that will take you up in your spiritual path and you are going towards God. Okay, any act. So we may claim that I didn't do any papa today. Okay, if you eat, like I'm doing normal actions, okay, like actions which do not really get papa or punya, because I have to eat, I have to live, I have to do this, blah blah blah, I have to work and all that. Yeah, we do all that, right? But how closer it is going and taking you to God, that's what it is important. So the closer and closer you go, it means you are doing punya. You may claim that something is a neutral action. Okay, I'm just going to work, I'm doing some computer programming, coding. Is it punya or papa? It can be made punya if you really like devote yourself in the work, and devote all your that 5 ingredients, whatever we talked about, that you just make sure that all the 5 components connect together, and then you offer the result of it to God, saying that I have done my best. Now let us just like I'm just giving this program. Oh God, I have done it. So something like that. You just constantly think about it. This is what Krishna talks in chapter 2 also. So anyway, I just did not want to go further on that, but I think papa and punya can be looked with this particular lens of compulsiveness and consciousness, and compassionate also is another thing. And then every karma you do, you just look at all these 5 components to it: the actor, the ingredients, okay, the time, the place, and the process. Okay, all this, how much you can like combine and you can do. So in the process, you should exert yourself, okay, to make sure that it comes out right? Sincerity, you give your 100%. Sincerely, you just do an act. That is a process, right? And then there must be some sacrifice, because sacrifice is one thing. We'll talk about all that later also in shloka number 9, because that helps in the spiritual progress. Okay, so anyway, that is about the Mahapapa Chora. So Muruga, whatever is a papa, he steals all those papas, including Pancha Mahapapas. That is what we said. But I thought we talked too much about papa, but I just did not want people to think that, oh my God, everything I do is papa. Okay. Yeah. So, sorry. One thing I wanted to say, compulsiveness and consciousness, right? In that I said you add compassion, right? But you should think that, okay, I am ignorant about it. It's good. No, you cannot be ignorant about things, because ignorance is not like consciously doing something. You want to do something, you learn how to do it right, and you want to do it right. Ignorance, whether you like it or not, that karma will catch you. COVID does not really see, oh, this guy did not know who I am, so I should not catch him, right? No, the flu doesn't work like that. The mosquito doesn't, like think whether you are looking at it when it is biting or not. So that is how, like the ignorance is not an excuse. Okay, that is the that factor also should be added here. Okay, anyway, let's just go to shloka number 9. So who is going to repeat today? Who are all there? Any volunteer? Let's see who are all. So Aparna, you are there. Nitya, you are there. Whoever wants to say. Okay. Nobody's shouting.
I can. Okay. Nitya can go.
Yeah. We can do one each.
No,
Okay.
I don't mind. I mean, நீங்களே பண்ணுங்க. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So shloka number 9 today. Okay. Ranadhamsake.
Ranadhamsake. Ranadhamsake.
Manjuletyanta shone.
Manjuletyanta shone. Manjuletyanta shone.
Manohari lavanya.
Manohari lavanya. Manohari lavanya.
Piyusha purne.
Piyusha purne. Piyusha purne.
Manashatpado me.
Manashatpado me. Manashatpado me.
Bhavaklesha taptaha.
Bhavaklesha tatpadham. Bhavaklesha tatpadham.
Taptaha. Bhavaklesha taptaha.
Bhavaklesha taptaham. Bhavaklesha taptaham.
Sada modatam.
Sadha modadam. Sadha modadam.
Modatam. Okay, modatam. First ta. Sada modatam.
Sada modatam. Sada modatam.
Skandate padapadme.
Skandate padapadme. Skandate padapadme.
Okay, full line now. Ranadhamsake manjuletyanta shone.
Ranadhamsake manjuletyanta shone. Ranadhamsake manjuletyanta shone.
Manohari lavanya piyusha purne.
Manohari lavanya piyusha purne. Manohari lavanya piyusha purne.
Manashatpado me bhavaklesha taptaha.
Manashatpato me bhavaklesha taptaha. Manashatpato me bhavaklesha taptaha.
Sada modatam skandate padapadme.
Sada modatam skandate padapadme. Sada modatam skandate padapadme.
Okay, so this is a very beautiful shloka, okay, because it talks about Subrahmanya's feet, okay, the holy feet of Bhagavan. Okay, so let's just look at the number of words here. Padachedaha. So Ranat Hamsake becomes Ranat Dhamsake. Because of the Sandhi rules, it becomes Ranat Hamsake becomes Ranat Dhamsake. Manjule. Okay. Atyanta Shone. Those are the actual words, 5 words. Manohari Lavanya Piyusha Purne. Those are actually 5 different words got together like this. Manohari Lavanya Piyusha Purne. Then Manashatpado is Manaha Shatpadaha becomes Manashatpado. Me. Okay, me is me. Bhava Klesha Taptaha. 3 words. Bhava Klesha Taptaha. Sada Modatam Skanda Te Pada Padme. So Actually, Pada Padme can be like separated. Okay, but actually those are two words in a way to look at it. So here Sada Modatam Skandate Pada Padme, 5 words are there, or you can say 6 words, right? So this is the actual way we will do the Padacheda. Because I am just telling this because in future, if you want to meditate on the meaning, that is one way to meditate on a shloka. This will help. Okay. So here, when you do Anvaya, the prose order, if you want to move it to the prose order, it says, Hey Skanda, Hey is not there. I'm just saying, Hey Skanda, Ranat Hamsake Manjule Atyanta Shone, Manohari Lavanya Piyusha Purne, Te Pada Padme, okay, Me Bhavaklesha Taptaha, Manaha Shatpadaha Sada Modatam. This is how you do it. So the verb here, the Kriya Pada is Modatam. Okay, be happy. Let it be, like, let my mind go there and then be happy, like that, right? Sada Modatam, always let it be, happy there. Where may my mind Bhava Klesha Taptaha. Bhava Klesha means all the kleshas which are coming from the bhava. Bhava is, the cycle of births and deaths we talked about. Actually, bhava means more of birth, the cycle of births. So the cycle of births itself is klesha, or the klesha comes from the cycle of birth because we take different bodies. Okay. Taptaha, it's like burning. Okay. Okay. What is burning here? Manaha Shatpadaha. My sixfold mind. Shatpadaha means it is like a actually, okay, let me just say that way. Shatpadaha means bee. Okay. Bee has 6 legs. Shatpadaha, 6 legs is called Shatpadaha. Okay. So the bee has 6 legs. The bee, my mind, which is a bee, which is suffering, which is burning because of the bhava klesha. Okay. Sada modatam. Always, like, let it rejoice. Where? Te pada padme, on your lotus feet. Okay. So on your lotus feet, let my suffering mind, okay, bhavaklesha taptaha manaha, which is like a bee, let it rejoice, he says. Okay. But beautifully he adds, like 2 more lines on the top, which says, Ranat Hamsake, Manjule Atyanta Shone, Manohari Lavanya Piyusha Purne. So everything goes to that Pada Padma. All these are adjectives. Okay, Visheshana Padas, they say, adjectives. What are the adjectives? Let's just look each one of them. Manohari Lavanya Piyusha Purne. We already saw in shloka number 3, right? Mayuradhirudam Manohari Deham. Okay, he has such a beautiful rupa, form, which attracts. We talked about that extensively. So, but here, it's just the feet. You don't have to think of the whole Bhagavan, right? Just his feet are Manohari Lavanya. So the beautiful, stealing the mind. That is the type of feet they are. Piyusha Purne. It is like a nectar. It is like full nectar. Nectar here means it is bliss, actually. Okay. They themselves are Brahman. It is complete Brahman. Okay. But the Brahman took a form. In shloka number 3, the Brahman took a form of Subrahmanya. Here, just his feet are Brahman. Okay. His feet are Brahman, Piyusha Purne, right? Manohari Lavanya. Because his feet is taking a form, our minds are getting attracted to that, such a beautiful feet. Okay. But then he is just adding some more to it. Ranat Hamsake. Okay. Manjule Atyanta Shone. Manjule means, like, you can say, like soft and beautiful, you can say. Lavanya is also beautiful, but Manjula is also beautiful. Atyanta Shone. Shone means like red color, red hued. Atyanta, like, the degree of red is more. Actually, like towards, it is like more red, right? Atyanta Shone means like very bright red kind of a thing, right? Manjule Adyanta Shone Ranat Hamsake. So Ranat means, like it is some kind of a sound. Okay, Ranat, another shloka we are going to see. the 10th shloka where it is a Kwanat. Okay. So this Ranat and Kwanat they are all sound. Hamsake. Hamsa means the Hamsa birds. We have talked about them. The Hamsa birds are basically the legendary swans. Okay. We talked about them. So what is the connection between all this? At one place he says, my mind is like a bee. Let that bee be attached to your feet. And then he says, like, he's bringing Hamsa also into the picture. Okay. So what this really means is the shloka has a lot of things like, which we need to really consider. Okay. Just looking at the simple meaning, it is pretty simple. Let my mind be attached to your lotus feet. Okay. Actually, let my mind, which is like a bee, okay, should be attached to your lotus feet. Okay. Similar to like, like the Hamsa birds attached to the lotus feet. Okay. Like that it says. So it is a simple meaning. But basically, like what it means is, first thing is we should know about Padma. Padma is like the lotus flower, right? The lotus flower, if you really look at it, it has a tendency. It just closes, in the evening. And then again, when seeing the sun in the morning, it opens. Okay. And then if you have seen the lotus flower, it has a long stem. And the lotus come from really dirty water. They say shagadi. Okay. And even if the water is good or nice or something like that, it does not stick to the lotus leaf or the lotus flower. Actually, this is like a beautiful concept here. Nothing sticks to it. So from that kind of a shagadi, from that kind of a dirt, lotus came out. So the first important thing we need to do is, even though there is dirt, even though there are bad things, something good is coming out of that. And it does not stick to the bad things. So the bad things do not stick to it. Okay. That is the quality of lotus. Okay. So why am I saying that? I'm going to explain it a little bit more. Okay. That is the quality of lotus, right? And then the Hamsa birds. The Hamsa birds are basically like they are always supposed to be near the lotus. Actually, this is not the only shloka where Shankaracharya talks about this. Okay. In Shivananda Lagari, shloka number 59. Okay. I have that shloka here. It says, Hamsaha Padmavanam Samichati Yata Nilambudam Chatakaha Kokaha Kokanada Priyam Pratidinam Chandram Chakorastata. Like that it goes. There also he says, Cheto Vanchati Mamakam Pashupate Chinmarga Mrigyam Vibhu. Like that he goes, right? But then he says, Gauri Natha Bhavat Padabja Yugalam Kaivalya Saukhya Pradam. There he is praying to Shiva, saying that Cheto Vanchati Mamakam, my mind, okay, let it be attached to your Bhava Padabja Yugalam, like your pair of lotus feet, he says. Okay, and then the first thing he says is Hamsaha Padmavanam Samichati, just like the swan passionately desires a garden full of lotuses. Okay. And then Nila Ambudam Chadakha. I'm not going to explain all that. So there he says the lotuses are basically like attracted to, the swan is attracted to the lotuses. And there also he is doing a similar comparison for the mind. Right. So here, the importance of swan is Hamsaha, we say, right? We have, like we call sannyasis as Paramahamsas. So Hamsaha means we said that, like these are, the Hamsa bird has the power of discrimination. That is, if you give it like milk, we said that it will drink the lactose and lactase and remove the, water, we say, right? The legendary Hamsa bird does that. So what that really means is, it is a power which is needed in spirituality, which is known as Viveka. Viveka means the power of discrimination between the right and the wrong. More than the right and the wrong, I would say the self and the non-self, the chit and the achit, okay? The truth and the false. So it means Brahman is truth, Atman is truth. Everything else is false, okay? The world is Maya. So that power is called Viveka. So Hamsa has that. So all the sannyasis, they are called Paramahamsas. So if you see our Mahaperiva or any Periva, our Periva's titles, we say Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Varya. We say that. So Paramahamsa means like that kind of extreme discrimination they have between the Sat and the Asat. Okay. There are four qualities which Shankaracharya says in Viveka Chudamani. It is called Sadhana Chatushtaya. Viveka, which is what we talked about right now. Vairagya. Vairagya is detachment. And the third thing is known as Sadhana. Shat
Sampati, right?
Yeah. No. Actually, sadhana chatushtaya, in that Samadhi Shat Sampati. Okay.
Correct. Okay.
Samadhi Shat Sampati, we say. Shat Sampati means 6 qualities. Sampatti, we say, right? In Tamil. And the Mari 6 qualities is needed. And then Mumukshutva. Okay, let us just look at all of them, right? So, Viveka Visa, it is the power to discriminate between the Brahman and Maya, the right and the wrong, the Sat and the Asat. The second one is Vairagya. Vairagya is detachment. Detachment from what? Again, like if you are attached, you are going into Maya. If you are detached, you are going towards Brahman. That is what lotus signifies. The lotus is coming out of mud. It is detaching itself from Asat, and then it is coming as a Sat. So it is showing this quality of Viveka and also Vairagya by detachment. Nothing sticks to it. Lotus water, water doesn't stick to lotus leaf, we say, right? That is the concept there. So you have Viveka there, you have Vairagya there. And then Shat Padaha. Actually, here we says Shatpadaha is B, right? The simple meaning is B. But Shatpadaha, Manaha Shatpadaha means the 6 qualities of the mind. What are the 6 qualities of the mind we are talking about? That is the Shat Sampatti, we say, right? So Shama is the first one. Shama and Dhamma. Shama is control of the mind. Dhamma is control of the sense organs. Shama, Dhamma. Okay, and Uparati, withdrawal from enjoyment. Okay. Titiksha is forbearance. Shraddha. Shraddha, basically they say it is faith, but I can just go into that in a little bit detail. And then the 6th one is Samadhana. Samadhana means it is like a type of focus. It is absorbed into meditation. Okay. So these are the 6 qualities of the mind which are needed. Okay. So a Paramahamsa should have all these. First of all, Sadhana Chatushtaya means the 4-fold path. In the 4-fold path, the first is Viveka, the second is Vairagya, third is the Shat Sampatti, which are the 6 things, okay? And the 4th is known as Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva means they are basically, they have some intensity, desire to get liberated. So only then you can become all this. So if you really see the Paramahamsa and the lotus, how they are connected here, you see that? The Paramahamsa is basically one who practices all these qualities and then you become Paramahamsa. And those Paramahamsas are making sound, Ranat Hamsake. Where? At the feet of Muruga. What kind of sound they are making? They are either chanting, like the glory of Subrahmanya, or they are meditating on Omkara, because, like they do Omkara Japam, Pranava Japam. So his feet are nothing other than Brahman. So it is like Omkara. So the Manas Shatpadaha can be connected to Hamsa, and then they are making that Ranat sound, okay, on that Subramania's feet. That is how this shloka needs to be interpreted. But let's just look at this because this is very important, even for all of us. Okay. Shama is control of mind. So the control of mind could be anything, like, like if your mind is telling you to do something, you can do it if it is good, but you can also like tell your mind, I'll do it later. Okay. If it wants to be lazy, you can prevent it from being lazy. You can just instruct your mind, constantly giving auto suggestion. Okay. And then if your mind is like expanding to do certain things, you can kind of like curb its activity. You don't want to think about certain things, right? That is how the mind gave. So if the mind starts thinking about that, you say, okay, I'm going to distract you and I'm going to start thinking about something good, like that, right? That is how you control your mind. Okay. Or you start thinking about Bhagavan, or you start thinking about chanting. You do something like that, right? That is control of mind. Second is the control of sense organs, which we already talked about, the compulsive action, like I just gave an example. So the sense organs are basically compulsive in nature. They will make you do things, even though you do not want to do, or something, even though without your knowledge, you will just do it. Right. So the control of sense organs will happen with a conscious action. Okay. That is Dhamma. And third is known as Uparati. Okay. Uparati is type of like a Pratyahara. So in Ashtanga Yoga, in the Eightfold Yoga, Pratyahara is turning your mind inwards, they say. Okay. So there are like beautiful ways of looking at it. But in Uddhava Gita, he simply explains Uparati as, pairs of opposites, right? No, actually for Titiksha he says that. Sorry. Uparati means if a thought is coming to you, okay, and if a thought is not affected by external factors, it means the thought, like you should limit the thought not to be affected by external factors. Means either you follow dharma completely, and then even if your mind wanders here and there, you say, no, I'm not going to do that, right? That is a type of Uparati. So focusing internally, withdrawal from enjoyment is Uparati, right? Titiksha is forbearance. This is very, very important. So Titiksha is one of the worst things which brings down people, because it doesn't give you the tolerance. Basically, when people's ego get hurt, right? When people's egos get hurt, they are not tolerant. They are either going to say something or do something which is not good for themselves as well as for others, right? So Titiksha is, even if somebody is doing bad to you, you should know how to ignore it. So in order to ignore it, there must be some Uparati, right? So you got to tell, I'm not going to think about it. Okay, I'm just going to be like a different person. I'm going to be better than this. I'm not going to think about it, right? So Titiksha is a very, very tough thing to do. If somebody is telling you something on your face, even though you listen to it, you don't want to process it. So it means you want to control your mind, and you don't want this thing to go into your brain. So all these are interrelated, right? You see that, right? That is how Titiksha works, right? And then Shraddha. Shraddha means, they say, faith, right? But it is not simply faith. These days, the Judeo-Christian religions, faith means, you have to believe in this, otherwise you are not really following their path. And then they will say, like you have fallen, you are a heathen, like that they say, right? But the exact definition is there in Bhagavad Gita, shloka 434. Okay. Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. That is what Krishna tells Arjuna. What he says is, learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from the master with reverence, and render service unto him. Such an enlightened jnani can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So that Shraddha means the faith in that, the faith in that Guru, the faith in Shastras. That is Shraddha. But when you say Shastra, Why should I believe in Shastra? Why should I believe in Vedas? Is it not written by somebody? We say Vedas are not written. They all came from the mouth of God. They are like the breathing of God. We say, yeah, but it's all you all say that. But am I supposed to believe that? Actually, that is what we say. You don't have to really believe in anything. We are going to seek. Actually, our Sanatana Dharma is a way we seek the truth. We don't admit the truth easily. That is what the shloka says. He says you go to a teacher, okay, who is already realized. But how do you know he is already realized? That is where the thing comes. You are being open to knowledge. Being open to listening is what here means Shraddha. Okay. So if you are showing Shraddha, you will be opening to other conversations. You will be opening to other viewpoints, and that will allow you to go and seek a guru. And then by seeking multiple gurus, you can seek. It doesn't matter. But certainly that guru also has certain qualities, they say, right? But that guru, because the guru knows the truth, the guru is following the lineage who knows the truth. He is going to tell you at some point, okay, that guru will impart the knowledge. And that is what Shraddha means. So we need to understand that way, okay. And Samadhana. Now the guru has taught you all this. Now, Samadhana means you internalize whatever the guru has said, and you meditate on that and you ruminate on that. That is Samadhana. The constant meditation of that will be Samadhana. Okay. So here, Manaha Shatpadaha, all the 6 qualities of the mind are with Paramahamsas. They are also like Hamsas because they seek the lotus, primarily because the lotus is having Viveka and Vairagya. Why do they have all this? Because they already have Mumukshutva. They want already, they want to be liberated. So with all this is done, they are the most eligible people to be near the feet of Subrahmanya, Bhagavan. So they are there and they are making that noise, and let my mind, actually you can say, automatically if you go there, there is no Bhava Klesha Tapta. Once you reach Muruga, where is Bhava, where is Klesha, where is Tapta, all these are gone, right? So that is what this particular shloka says here, okay. And one more thing I just wanted to say from my notes is in Kandar Anubhuti, okay, Arunagirinathar, he himself is a Jivan Mukta, okay. He says, Karuda Marava Nerigana Enakku Irudal Vanasam Tarai Endru Ishaivai. The first 2 lines, and then it keeps going. The next 2 lines. Karuda Marava Nerigana. Karuda. I shouldn't be like thinking, like the no thought state. Okay. Marava. I shouldn't be forgetting. Means, if there is a second thing, you will forget. If there is only one thing, you will not forget. So, Karuda Marava Nerigana, in that path, which is like, when will you show that Brahman to me? That is what he is saying. Yendri Ishaivai. When will you do that? எனக்கு இருதால் வனசம். Okay, அப்படிப்பட்ட உன் காலை எனக்கு எப்படி கொடுப்பேங்கிறார். Actually, that Brahman is your feet. When will you give that, he says. That is Kandar Anubhuti, Shloka 21. Okay. So anyway, the meaning of the shloka is very simple in one way, that, when will my mind, which is really caught up in this Bhava Klesha, which will reach your, let my mind rejoice at your feet. Okay. That is what it says. But because of these adjectives, when will I become a Paramahamsa? That is what it means. So in order to become a Paramahamsa, we also should follow the sadhana chatushtaya, the 4-fold path. In this, the third step is the Shamadhi Shat Sampatti. Okay. That is what the 3rd line here, Manas Shatpadaha, it says. Okay. So this is how we have to understand this shloka. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Okay. Suvarnabha divyambarair
Suvarnava divyambarair
bhasamanam
Bhasamanam
Kvanatkinkini
Kvanatkinkini
Mekhala Shobhamanam
Mekhala Shobhamanam
Lasadema Pattena
Lasadema pattena
Vidyodamanam
Vidyodamanam
Katim Bhavaye
Katim bhavaye
Skandate Deepyamanam.
Skandade dipyamanam
So adu Katim, just first tap, don't stress like Katim illa. Katim Bhavaye.
Katim bhavi.
Yeah, Katim Bhavaye. The Mahaprana is on Ba. Katim Bhavaye. Okay. Okay. Suvarna Bhadivyam Bharair Bhasamanam.
Suvarna bhadivyam bharair bhasamanam Suvarna bhadivyam bharair bhasamanam
Kvanatkinkini Mekhala Shobhamanam.
Kvanatkinkini mekala shobhamanam
Lasadhema Pattena Vidyodamanam.
Lasadhema pattena vidyodamanam
Katim Bhavaye Skandate Deepyamanam.
Katim bhavaye skandade dipyamanam
Okay, so in this shloka, this is the Padachedaha. Suvarnabha Divyambarair Bhasamanam becomes Suvarna Abha Divya Ambaraihi Bhasamanam. Okay, so the first word is a compound word of 4 words, and then Bhasamanam is separate one. Kvanat Kinkini Mekhala Shobhamanam, another compound word of 4 words. Lasat Hemapattena Vidyotamanam Katim Bhavaye Skanda Te Deepyamanam. That is what it says. Okay. So the beauty of here is everything is shining. This whole shloka is all about shining. Okay. So what is shining? Okay. Let's just first read the Anvaya, which is like the prose order. He Skanda Suvarna Abha Divya Ambarehi Bhasamanam Kvanat Kinkini Mekhala Shobhamanam Lasat Hema Pattena Vidyodamanam Deepyamanam Te Katim Aham Bhavaye. Aham Bhavaye, I meditate. Okay. I meditate on what? Te Katim, on your hip portion. Katim is hip. Okay. What kind of hip it is? There are 4 separate Visheshanas or adjectives. Deepyamanam, Lasadema Pattena Vidyodamanam, Kvanatkinkini Mekhala Shobhamanam, Suvarna Abha Divya Ambarehi Bhasamanam. Like these kind, that hip is like, accentuated, qualified with these kind of, these 4 adjectives. So we are saying, Hey Skanda, Te Katim Bhavaye. That is the actual thing. Okay. Te Katim Bhavaye is the thing. But with all these 4 adjectives, we are going. So what exactly he is saying here is Suvarna, okay, Abha Divya Ambarehi Bhasamanam. Bhasamanam is shining. Okay. Even in 8th shloka, we saw the word Bhasamanam. The 8th shloka, let me. No, in the 8th shloka, we said, Lasat Swarnage He Nrunam Kamado He Sumastoma Sanchinna Manikya Manche Smudyat Sahasrarka Tulya Prakasham Sada Bhavaye Kartikeyam Suresham. No, actually, sorry. In 7th shloka, we saw Guhayam Vasantam Swabhasa Lasantam we saw. Okay. Swabhasa there means Tannudaya Jyotishinali. I mean, with his own power, right? I mean, like it is shining. Okay. But basically, Bhasa means it is shining. Okay. Some kind of a radiance is coming out of it. What is radiating is Ambaraihi. Ambaraihi is cloth. Okay. We have heard of the word like Digambara. Okay. Like Dattatreya is called Digambara. And some of the Jain saints, we call them as Digambara. And Shvetambara we say. Pitambara we say. Krishna wears Pitambara. And Chitrambara. Chitrambara means like different types of chitra are put in your clothes. Okay. Like nicely decorated clothes like that. So Ambara is clothing. Ambaraihi, it is like kind of plural there because it's not one. It could be like two parts there. Divya Ambaraihi, the divine clothes. Okay. Abha, Suvarna Abha. Like it's like gold. So it means it's either in golden in color or it is having this golden hue and it is shining. So he is wearing that kind of a cloth on his hip. Okay. And then he is saying, Kwanat Kinkini Mekhala Shobhamanam. Okay. So here we saw the word Kwanat here. In the last thing we saw, like Ranat. Okay. Ranat is also sound. Kwanat is also sound. Okay. Shobhamana means like it's like beautifully appearing. Okay. Shobhamana is something like that. Beautifully appearing. Mekhala. What exactly is Mekhala? Mekhala, like it is like it is an ornament which is worn on the hips. So typically when females wear it, we call it as Vodyanam. Okay. I think, like for men, it is called Arainyan. Okay. So it is like the Kati Sutra, they say. It is like a small band or small sutra, like thread, okay, which goes on your hip. But it is having Kinkini, Kwanat Kinkini. It is having all these little bells. Okay. Bell, not belt. Okay. It is having little bell. Those are making sound. So Kwanat Kinkini, they are making the sound. His that Katish Sutra, which he is wearing, that is making the sound there. Okay. And then Lasat Hema Pattena Vidyotamanam. Again in 8th shloka also we saw Lasat Swarna Gehe, right? So Lasat Hema Pattena Vidyotamanam. Vidyotamanam is also like shining. We saw Vidyut. Vidyut Kanti means like, like the lightning, that kind of a shining it is coming. Lasat is also like some kind of radiance. So the radiance of the gold, Hema is gold. Lasat Hema, the radiance of the gold with a patta. Patta is a band. So now he is having a band, okay, which is shining. Okay. And then he is having a Mekhala, the Vodyanam or the Kati Sutra we say, that is also shining. And it is also having bells. Okay. And his cloth is also shining. Bhasamana. Okay. The cloth is also like the golden color looking cloth, the divine cloth, that is also shining. But above all, Deepyamanam. Deepyamanam means even without all this, Skanda's hip can shine by itself. Okay. Even without anything, it can shine by itself. So it is all about the shining and the brightness of the Skanda's Kati portion, he says, right? So this is pretty simple from that particular angle. But let us look whether there is any inner purport of this meaning, of this shloka, right? So first thing is, in one of those Upanishads, right? Skanda Gatir Shoshanayo. Okay, it gives Brahma Bhava Bhatti, it says. It means, Soshanam Papa Pankasya Deepanam Jnana Tejasaha, we say in Dattastavam. So, Shoshanam is removal of papas, right? Like that. By removing all papas, Skanda Gatihi. Skanda is the only Gati. for removing all the papas. So again, linking to that Mahapapa Chore, okay. So it is the same thing we have to go here. By looking at it, it gives you Brahma Bhava Bhakti, which says moksha. But where is that coming here? Where is that sentence what I talked about coming here? Because in Chandogya Upanishad 5.18.2, okay, Sandeho Bahalaha means, actually what it means is, in Chandogya Upanishad, they talk about the Virat Purusha of Bhagavan. Actually, we say Vishnu there, but it is Bhagavan. Okay, Subrahmanya is also that same Bhagavan. So when Bhagavan is a Virat Purusha, the Kati Porsha of Bhagavan is Akasha. Okay, Akasha, we say it's space, right? So that particular portion is the middle portion, Kati portion. So by meditating on that Kati portion, they say it will obviously remove your, like papas, and then it will take you to Brahma. Because the Brahma Bhava Bhakti comes without, not, like just like that, right? All your sins have to go. But if your sins have to go, what really happens is your mind, all the things we talked about in the previous shlokas, right? So to summarize it in just little words, first, Mano Nasha, the mind should be like removed. Mano Nasha means the destruction of the mind, literal meaning, but actually Mano Laya, the mind should be absolutely like subjugated, right? That is what yoga is for. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. So the first line in Patanjali Yoga Sutra is that if you practice yoga, your chitta vritti, all your mind thoughts and everything will be stopped. And then you keep doing that, you will go into samadhi in yoga. But when you come out of samadhi, you still see the world. Okay. But mano nivritti, it will not give you Brahman. Okay. Even though you may have a glimpse of it, but you are not a jnani. A yogi is not a jnani, because a yogi, a true yogi who has practiced Ashtanga yoga, is not a jnani. They have only controlled their mind. But a jnani is removal of ego. Okay. Once you remove your ego, then you become a jnani. So the yoga helps in that path to remove, because mind is an obstruction in the path. So to control mind, you do yoga, and then you reach a stage where you have to remove your ego. When the ego drops, then your actual I will really shine. So here, why I am saying this is because the word Akasha is space, we say, right? Akasha is that which gives avakasha. Avakasha means it allows room. So you have a coffee table. So on the coffee table, you just put a beautiful flower vase one day. It has water and it has nice flowers and everything. And then another day you think that, okay, I don't like this here. Let me move it to another table. I'm going to put something else here, some other piece of decoration. Now what has happened is that space which was there on top of the coffee table, that space is still there. Those coordinates are same when compared to your room. But those coordinates has lost the quality of being a flower vase, and now it is like some other, like some other thing you put there. So it means space is not touched by the qualities of things which is coming. It is giving room to anything which comes there. So Brahman is like that. Brahman is a pure consciousness. From that everything comes. But Brahman is not like nothing is creating Brahman. Brahman is creating it. Brahman is giving avakasha. So the reason I said this, because in order to reach that avakasha, the actual avakasha is the mind goes, okay, and then when the mind goes, okay, it is like your actual space, akasha. Even though we talk about akasha, there is space, there are coordinates and everything, right? But the actual Brahman, there is no coordinates, there is no space, there is no time. That is when the ego goes. Okay. So the basic idea here is, if we meditate on the Kati of Subrahmanya, which is shining by itself, And also it is accentuated by Suvarna Abha Divya Ambaraihi, with a beautiful dress, which is golden hued, which is resplendent and shining. Plus the Mekhala he is wearing, that is also, shining. And then there is a Hema Patta, a band, a golden band on top of that. That is also like shining. Actually, shining is not the only word here. You can put different words. Okay. With all this, okay, he is nothing but Brahman. Actually, every part by part he is going to explain that in all these shlokas together. So that is like Akasha. The connection with Akasha comes here, from Akasha to mind, and the mind and ego destruction, all that finally connects to Brahman. That is what I was trying to connect in this shloka. Okay. Now it is 9:02 already. Anybody has any questions on today's class or the previous ones? Hello, did I lose all of you?
No, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, any questions?